Hey everybody, welcome to our webinar today. I'm really excited to have you here, and I'm really excited to be able to share with you the information that I have that I'm going to give you today. Before we get started, I just want to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Jeff Darling, and I believe that local businesses have the power to change the world because every business begins with a product or a service designed to better help the life of someone else. And I believe now is the very best time in all of history to run a business because we have the tools now more than ever before to share our passions with the world. My passion is to take those tools and the technology that is out there today and teach local businesses how to build a structure or a foundation that will help them share their passions with the world. So today, I want to teach you is how to build a marketing foundation that will exponentially grow your business without wasting marketing dollars. So years ago, when I first got into marketing, I went into this place of business and I noticed for a long time that his parking lot always seemed empty and his store was always empty. And I walked into a store and I began to talk with him about some marketing and advertising and seeing what he could do. And he said to me, he said, Jeff, you know, I've done marketing. I've done everything I can think of. I've done TV and radio. I've done newspaper and I've done digital. And I put all the thousands of dollars into all of this marketing and I never saw any return on my marketing. I never brought in any more customers. I never made any more money. And he just kind of threw up his hands and he said, it just doesn't work, especially in this small town of Helena. It just doesn't work. At least for my business, it doesn't. And so I said, well, what are you doing now to get the word out? And he said, you know, I rely on word of mouth. And that is what's been working for me. And I looked down at this empty store and I didn't say anything else about it. I didn't want to be rude, but I was like, well, really? And though word of mouth can be very effective, you know, if someone recommends something to somebody else, someone you trust, it works really, really well, but is not a way that you can grow or scale your business. And what was happening is his business had hit a plateau and he was relying on his current customers who already knew him, who already liked him, who already trusted him to buy from him, but he wasn't gaining new customers. And so at the very best, his business was stagnant. His business was it was maintaining, but it wasn't growing. And I walked out of that. I was pretty new to the business, and I was pretty distraught. I really wanted to know how to help him, but I didn't know at the time. And what I realized later on, excuse me, what I realized later on is that what he was doing is he was running simply campaigns. He was running marketing campaigns. And basically what campaigns are is like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, right? And he would do that, and it's very, very costly, and it's very ineffective to go that way because essentially all it is guesswork. And he was just guessing on what he thought might work, and he would try something, it wouldn't work, he would take it out, he would try something else, and he could not figure out what would work. And when I walked out of there, I couldn't help him, but when I think back to that experience, I realized that because if we could eliminate the campaign, eliminate the guesswork, and build a foundation that he can build his campaigns on, so he would know what works and what doesn't, then he would no longer be wasting his marketing dollars. And I don't know, that might be true for some of you who are on today, some of you who watch this recording. You might be in that situation where you feel like you're wasting marketing dollars or the marketing you've done hasn't worked. But I want to tell you right now, even if everything you've done in the past hasn't worked or hasn't worked well and you're frustrated with it, I just want to tell you that it's not your fault. All right. And it's not even a fault of props of the platforms that you guys use, whether it be TV, radio, digital, whatever it is, just like it was in his case, it wasn't necessarily the fault of that. The problem was that no one taught him how to build a foundation. And so that's what I want to teach you today. So, but before we dive into it, who is this webinar for? All right. Now, I addressed some of this recently, just before, but who is this webinar for? So, this is for those who have tried marketing campaigns in the past, and so far nothing has worked, or nothing has worked well. Or maybe you're tired of wasting marketing dollars. Or maybe you're losing business, or your business is at a standstill, just like my friend. Unfortunately, within a couple, a year or two later after that conversation with him, he went out of business. And it still bothers me to this day, because I wanted to be able to help him. That is my passion, to be able to help him grow. And I just wasn't able to do it. And so maybe you're in that situation, and you're just not gaining any ground. This webinar is for you. But also, for some of you, maybe you have marketing campaigns that work. Maybe your business is growing and things are going well and you're scaling and things are going great. Well, don't turn this webinar off, because this is also for you. If you're a business that wants to double, triple, or 10x your business, then stick with this webinar, because this webinar is for you as well. So I always want to focus on one thing, all right? What I call the big domino that I want to share with everybody. This is what I want everyone to get out of this webinar, for all those of you who are listening. And that is this: how to build a marketing foundation without wasting marketing dollars with the Tower Marketing System. That is essentially what I want to teach you today. Now, I know that a lot of you are busy. A lot of you have things going on, and you may be trying to multitask. If you're anything like me, right? You're on a webinar, or you're watching something, you try to do something else. If you can help it, there's a lot of information. I'm going to share probably 6 hours of information here within an hour is my goal, to try to get you in and get you out and share with you. So I would encourage you to take notes whenever you can. And if you can not turn this off or try to turn it on later, watch this all the way through. And if you stick to the end, for all of you who stick to the end and watch this, I have a special offer that I'm going to give for all of you, just for you who watch this webinar. I don't give this to anybody else. I don't share this with anybody else, but for those of you who are on this webinar, I have a special offer. So if you can stick with me till the end, and hopefully I can share with you this Tower Marketing System that's going to help build your business in a way that you never thought possible before. So the Tower Marketing System, how did I come up with that? Where does this idea come from? Well, I shared a little bit with you, but all my life, I have been in sales. And years ago, I was in between jobs and I was looking for another job. So I applied for a job, which what I thought was just another outside sales job, something that I've done, I've known a lot about. Turned out that it was, when I got hired, it was also a marketing job. And for whatever reason, I fell in love with marketing. I just loved every bit of it. And I was super excited and super stoked. I couldn't wait to get out there and start talking with businesses and helping them grow with my amazing advertising and marketing. And I jumped in my car and I drove and I did exactly what you're taught in the marketing and advertising, in the advertising business. And I went to these businesses to sell them advertising products. And so I'd go and I started to sell a few. And you know what happened? Is after we ran a campaign for maybe 3 or 6 months, I would go back to that business and I would sit down with them and I would ask a question. Tell me if you guys relate with this, right? You've probably been through this before, but I'd ask them a question and I would say, how did it go? You know what their answer to me was? I don't know. And they would ask me, how do you think it went? And my answer would be the same. I don't know. Now, a side note here is if you ever have someone who's doing marketing for you or you're paying someone to do marketing for you and they ask you their question, how did it go? How did the campaign run? You need to fire that person right away. I should have been fired right away, right? Any marketing person should know how it went. But I was young. I was inexperienced. I didn't know. So then I would follow up that question, though, with a couple other questions. And I would say, well, did you make any sales? And they usually gave me 1 of 3 answers. The first answer was, yeah, a little, but that could have been because of, and usually it was some outside circumstance, like maybe, uh, um, there was it was summertime, or there was a concert in town, or something was happening that may have boosted sales at that time. And so we didn't really know whether it was the marketing or that. The other answer was, nope, I didn't get any sales. Just like, I didn't make any sales at all. And the third answer was usually the one I got the most, and the worst one of all is, no, actually, I lost sales during that campaign. And I started walking out of more and more businesses just defeated because I didn't understand what was going on, why this wasn't working, and why I couldn't help these businesses. So I decided to figure this out. I was on a mission because all I wanted to do was help businesses grow. And so I began to study all of the top marketing experts in the nation. I bought every single book that I could find. I went to training sessions. I went to seminars. I watched YouTube videos. I did everything I could possibly think of. And what I did was I started taking all the bits and pieces, all the best pieces that I was learning from each person, and I started to gather them all into gather all that information, what I thought would help Montana businesses, help Helena business and Great Fall businesses and Bozeman businesses, what I could help, how I could help them. And I remember, I'll never forget, I had this big roll of like a newspaper roll where they print their newspaper on. I had this big roll for my son because he liked to do a lot of drawing. He still does. He likes to do a lot of drawing. And so I took that roll and I took out a big piece of paper and I threw it on my kitchen table. And I took out a marker and I just started writing. I just started making graphs and pictures, and I started saying, okay, if we do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. I started writing it all out. And when I was done, I looked at it and I realized this is a tower. This looks just like a tower. I wish I had the picture that I could show you. I was trying to find it before I did this. I couldn't find that picture, but I hung it up because I worked out of my I worked out of my garage, but I hung it up in the garage and I took a picture of it and I said, this is what I need to do. This is my structure with every single business that's going to help them grow and eliminate the guesswork. And that is where I got this tower marketing system that I'm going to share with you guys today. So here's what it is. I'm going to share with you three things, the three secrets. All right. Secret number one, how to turn traffic you control into traffic that you own. Number two is how to generate unlimited marketing dollars, even if you have little to no marketing budget. And number three, how to make customers worth substantially more to your business. So let's begin with secret number one. How to turn traffic you control into traffic that you own. Now, I want to take some time on this one, right? Because I want you guys to understand this more, that if you get nothing else out of this webinar, this is the one thing that I want you to understand more than anything else. This is foundational to everything that I'm going to teach you today. And that is turning traffic you control into traffic that you own. So there's three types of traffic. Traffic that you control is basically, traffic that you don't control is just basically, that's your free traffic, right? That's people who find you. Word of mouth would be an example of that. Or if they Google something like your product or your service on Google and they find you that way, or through your social media, something that you don't pay for, that is traffic that you don't control, all right? Then there's traffic that you do control, and that is paid traffic, basically. That's when you do Google ads, or you do Facebook or Instagram or YouTube ads, any type of those things, or maybe you're running TV, radio, or even billboard. That's traffic that you control. And your whole goal is to take traffic that you don't control and traffic that you do control into traffic that you own. That is, like I said, that is foundational to everything. And so many businesses don't do this. And the ones who do it, a lot of them don't do it right. But those who are doing this and doing this right are the biggest businesses in the country. And the ones who are doing it excellent are beating their competition because they understand this concept. This is more important than even making sales. All right. So how did I come up with this? Where did this come from, right? You know, just to kind of continue, piggyback off my story that I started with, right? When I started working with more and more customers and I started to get more and more comfortable with what I was doing, I began to see a pattern. I would create these campaigns, and I kind of moved a lot into marketing campaigns. But I began to build these marketing campaigns, and I would control the traffic, and usually I would control it to a website. Then we were able to track how many clicks we got, and I was really excited when I first learned about this. So I would be able to go to them and sit down, and I would go to the owner and I'd say, "Hey, great news! Over the last 3 months that we ran this campaign, we got 2,000, 5,000, or 7,000 people saw your ad. And through that, we got like 500 or 1,000 or 3,000 clicks to your website. How amazing is that?" I'd be super excited. I put all the stats in front of them, like, oh, the owners are going to be so happy about this. You know what the owners would say to me? They would say, "That's great, Jeff, but I didn't make any sales." I was like, "What? You didn't?" So I continued to look. I continued to learn, trying to figure out what's going on here. Then I discovered this amazing tool. You guys may be familiar with it. If you're not, I can help you out with it. If you are, great. But I made this amazing tool called Google Analytics and Facebook Analytics. And when I discovered this, I was like, hey, and now we'll be able to understand what people are doing, because analytics will tell you when people go to, what do they do when they go to their website? What pages do they visit? What things do they click on? How long do they stay? It gives you all this insight when people go to your website. And so I was really excited for this analytics, and I started to run these campaigns, and I would set them up with Google Analytics, because back then it was pretty new, it was pretty fresh. A lot of people didn't know about it. So I set them up with Google Analytics, and I would take them back. But you know what the analytics would really just tell me? It would tell me that it wasn't working. That's it. I would just see that people would click on the ad, they would click to the website, and then their bounce rate, which people would go to the website and leave, their bounce rate was really, really high, and people wouldn't do what they're supposed to do. And so I asked myself a question. I said, how can I get people to stay on the websites longer? And so that was the question that I would ask myself for a long time, trying to figure out how do we get them to go on the website and do what we want them to do. So after thinking about this and working on this, I realized that I was asking the wrong question. I shouldn't have been asking, how do we keep people on the website longer? What I needed to be asking is how to turn those clicks into points of contact. That was what we needed to do. We needed to create what was called a distribution list. And we needed to take all of those points of contact, as many as possible of those clicks, and we needed to turn them into points of contact. So let me share with you what I mean here. Let me see, I'm gonna go. All right, let's go to my whiteboard here. All right, hopefully everybody can see that. So I'm gonna give you kind of an example. This is a lot of times what I would do, okay, with a fictional company. So before, when I was working, trying to get people to the website, this is what was happening, is I would create an ad. I'd go to our friend, Mr. Zuckerberg here, and I'd create an ad. And let's say I was working with Guitar World, all right? So I go to the Guitar World and I say, okay, let's create an ad. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lead them to your website. Pretty simple. And so we'd run an ad, we'd spend all this money on this ad, right, for like a month or 2 months or however long. And then I would go and I'd look at it, and this is what was happening. People would go to the website and then they would leave. They would go and they would leave. They would go and they would leave. And they're bouncing. People are bouncing all the time. They're leaving the website, and we weren't making sales. Then to get them back to the website, we had to spend more money to try to grab all those people and send them back to the website, grab those people and new people. And everybody kept on bouncing off the website. And I mean, there was a couple that would stay and buy something, but it wasn't working. And I was like, why does this not work? Why are we not staying on the website? Why are they not doing what we want them to do? Then I thought about it. When I learned about this idea of a distribution list, I learned that we were running our websites completely wrong. We were running our websites like, it'd be like if you went to a Verizon store and walked into the store, and instead of there being a rep who comes up to you and says, hey, how can I help you today? No one would be in the store. And instead you would see the line of all the cell phones that they sold. And next to each cell phone was a brochure that talked about all the plans and all the features of that phone and all the details and all the accessories that go with it. And every single phone had the same thing. How well do you think that Verizon store would do? Most people would do what they do on the website. They would walk in and then they would walk out. A few who already know, like, and trust Verizon in that store and they know what phones they want, they might stay and buy the phone. But a majority of them are going to walk in and walk out. Why? Because we confuse them or we overwhelm them. One of the marketers that I study under, one of the best ones out there, named Donald Miller. He coined a phrase called, and what he said is, if you confuse, you lose. And I look at it as well, and I say, if you overwhelm, you lose. And when you confuse somebody, their brain automatically shuts down if they don't understand what they're seeing. And so we go to our websites and we put everything on our website. We say, this is everything that we have to offer. This is who we are. This is, if you want to contact us, here's a contact button. Excuse me. And we do all this stuff to try to get them into our website, and we drive them to our website, and then we hope they do what we want them to do. I call this hope marketing, right? And instead, they look at it, they don't see what they expect to see, and they leave. And I've seen it over and over. Some websites are because they have way too much information on there, and they leave. Other websites have very little to no information. And if the customer doesn't see what they expect to see when they get to it, then you're going to lose them. And so we kept confusing them, and we kept losing them. And so that's what kept on happening. And so what I needed to do was we needed to capture customers. We needed to build a distribution list, okay? And how do we do this? So let me clear this out. I'm going to show you how I did this, all right? This is an amazing secret. This is basically how you turn traffic you control into traffic that you own, okay? So what I did was, instead of sending people to a website, right, we created the ad, but instead of sending to a website, I sent them to a landing page. This is so simple. Some of you may be like, oh yeah, I know about that. This is so simple. It almost seems too easy, but it's so much more effective than what we normally do as businesses. So I create a landing page. And what this landing page, it has one goal. And that goal is to collect info. So let's actually go back. Let me erase this here, right? And let's just say I work with, instead of Guitar World, who's everybody's bouncing off their website, I go over to Guitar Land. And I go to Guitar Land, I said, let's create an ad for you. And Guitar Land says, I'm not going to lead them to our website. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give free lessons. And they run an ad that says, hey, get free guitar lessons where you will learn how to play Stairway to Heaven on your guitar within 2 weeks, even if you've never picked up a guitar in your life. And they run an ad and they send there. In exchange for this free lesson, you have to give us your name, number for text or calls. Whoops. Your email, address, and anything else you can think of. And so they say, give us your name, email, address, and we'll give you these free lessons to learn how to play Stairway to Heaven within the next 2 weeks. This is fundamentally different than what anybody else does. The whole goal of a landing page is to collect one, if not several, of these things. And you do this with a bargaining chip. You're going to make a bargaining chip with them. And you're going to say, a bargaining chip, here you go. You're going to say, if you give me this, I will give you that. But it has to be of great value. Whatever bargaining chip you create has to be of great value. And it's usually an offer, right? And this is what I call the Godfather offer. And the reason why I call it that is because you have to give your customer an offer that they can't refuse. So this requires a couple of things. Number one, you have to really know, the better you know who your customer is, your target customer, the better you understand them, the better you can make this offer. But it has to be of great value to your customer to make this work. The better the value, the better that this is going to work. And you're going to be able to get that info. Then what's happening is you're taking all of this traffic that you're controlling right here, right? And you're turning them into owned traffic, right? Or a point of contact. POC, a point of contact. You now own them. And you've now found yourself a point of contact. Now, here's something that I want to stress, something that I want you to get. I'm going to pound this into the ground over the next 25, 30 minutes as I go through this. This customer now that you got, or this point of contact, I should say, they're not a customer yet because they haven't bought from you. We'll get to that. But this point of contact, you never have to market to them again. You've already paid to have them market, and now you own them, so you can market to them whenever you want, through email, through text, through calls, through mailing. It doesn't matter. You can market to them, and it won't cost you another dime now that you have them. So let's go back. All right. So this is where I started to build my tower. All right. So this is the lobby that I create. I'm going to show you here what I mean. So this is where I create the lobby. And this is kind of what I started to draw. This is draw out on that big sheet of paper, which you take traffic that you control. And I apologize, the other one should say non-controlled traffic. I kind of messed that up there. But traffic, you control traffic and non-controlled traffic. You send them to that landing page with the Godfather offer. They give you their information, and they enter your lobby. This is your foundation of your business, is your lobby, just like in a regular tower, right? You want to fill your lobby up with as many people as you possibly can. And you're starting to build your foundation. This should be the number one goal of any business right here, is to fill this up. This will give you more sales than ever before if you can do this. And you can do this well. The experts who do this are beating their competition. I'm going to give you an example here. Here's one that I work with, all right? This is a company I work with called Soothe. We sell CBD, and I created this landing page. And we have some information here that I do on the landing page, but here's what we do. Get your first 30-day supply for free. And we offer a 30-day supply of CBD. We give it to them for free in exchange for their name and their email address. And when they say yes, they want it, we get the rest of their information so we can send them the bottle of Soothe for free. And with that, they give away something for free, but they're gonna catch their information, and now they turn that click into a point of contact. And so that's just an example. I'm sure you guys have seen this before while you're out there. You've seen this on other things. If you do this well with your target market, you can begin to build an audience that you can sell to. So that brings me to my next point. Let's get back to my PowerPoint here. So the next one, how to generate unlimited marketing dollars, even if you have little to no marketing budget. This is going to build on what I just taught you. So another marketing expert that I learned under named Dan Kennedy, he said this: whoever spends the most money to acquire customers wins. When I first heard this statement, I thought, well, that's an obvious statement, right? If you have millions of dollars to flood the market, of course you're going to win. But businesses that I work with, I don't know about you, but I don't know any businesses that have millions and millions of dollars to flood the market and win. So I kind of ignored this, right, when I first heard this. But then I started to think about it, and I asked myself a question. What if we could create a system that generates marketing dollars that you could use? You see, I had a problem when I first started working with businesses. I started to fill a lobby like I wanted to. I started to get people's names, and I started to get that lobby filled up. But the problem was everybody in that lobby costs money. It costs money to get them there. It costs money to control that traffic. It costs money. And a lot of the businesses I work with didn't have a ton of marketing dollars. So we kind of were back to square one, as though we were getting a couple people a month, 2 or 3, maybe a few. It still wasn't scalable. The business wasn't growing fast enough because the marketing dollars weren't there. They, a lot of the business only had maybe $500 a month, $700 a month. They didn't have a ton of marketing dollars to spend, if that, to be able to generate and get people into their lobby. And so I had to figure out how I could do this. And so as I studied even more and continued to work more, I learned about the idea of funnel marketing. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of funnel marketing before, or even looked at it. People who have different views of what it is. I'm going to share with you what I mean by funnel marketing. But what's amazing about funnel marketing is I use funnel marketing to create 2 things. There's 2 concepts that I want you guys to learn here, and that is the front end offers and the back end offers. And I use funnels to drive people through to these offers. And the funnels is how you create a system that works like a conveyor belt. And that's what a front end offer is going to do for you. It's going to be like a conveyor belt. And the idea is you put $1 in, it goes through the machine, right? And then out comes $1 and a customer. That is the goal of a front end offer. So every time you put $1 in, you get $1 out and a customer. Let me share with you what I mean here. Let's go back here. All right. So this is an example of a funnel that I would build. And I want to share with you how this works. There's some math involved. I want you to focus on this a little bit because it's super important to understand. The other thing I want you to understand is that this is one type of funnel. There's several types of funnels. So you might look at this and you say, well, this is great. I can see how this works for some businesses, but this wouldn't work for my business. This does work for your business. It might be a little different concept and a little different type of funnel, but the foundation is still the same and the concept still works the same. So let me share with you how this works. So let's say we spend $1,000 on an ad, on a Facebook ad. I always look at cost per click whenever I run ads, right? We want to know how much it costs to get somebody to our first page. This is our first point of contact. So let's say in this situation, it cost $1 per click. We did pretty good. We got $1. That means we got 1,000 visitors to our first page, our opt-in page, or our Godfather offer, if you will, right? And from there, we got a 30% conversion rate. I always look at the conversion rate of each page that I work on. And here we got a 30% conversion rate, giving us 300 new leads, 300 new points of contact. Then what I do is this, I start to build out a funnel. Then I create an offer. So out of those 300, all 300 are going to get an offer. In this case, let's just say it's $10. And we're going to make an offer of a product or a service or something for $10. And out of the 300 who see that, we have, it's okay, it's not the best, but we have an okay closing ratio. 20% of them said, yeah, I'll take you up on that. So that's 60 people who have now become buyers. Now you have 60 people who know, like, and trust you enough to buy something from you. Then from there, I don't always do this with everybody, but some people I do. I create an upsell offer after that. One more offer, kind of like, do you want fries with that type thing? And we say, hey, here's one other special that I want to give you. If you're interested, for $50, I'll give you this special. That closing ratio is 15%, which is actually pretty good. And that's 9 people take you up on your buyer. Then they go to a thank you page. Excuse me. So then what I look at is I do the math. As you can see over here, I do the math. First thing I want to figure out is cost per acquisition. So I take that by understanding how much I spent on the campaign for that month, how many buyers did I get. In this case, it cost me $17 for every single buyer. To get a buyer, it cost me $17. So that's my cost per acquisition. But I also want to look at my average cart value. How much did they spend and how much money did I make at the end? So in this scenario, this is what I'm looking for. Whenever I'm running marketing campaigns, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for the break even. And in this situation, the cost per acquisition cost me $17, but the average cart value, so every time somebody bought, I averaged $17. So this works perfectly. I put $1 on the conveyor belt. I got $1 out, and I got a buyer. And sending everybody through this. Now, some of you may be looking at this and saying, okay, that sounds great, but that doesn't work like that every time, right? And you're right, it doesn't. And what would happen if I go in here and I say, well, instead of 30% conversion rate, we have a 10% conversion rate, right? So instead of 300 leads, we only have 100 leads. And everything else stays the same. The conversion rate on each of the other pages stay the same. But now, instead of 60 buyers, we have 20 buyers. And instead of 9 people, I believe we have 3 that take the upsell. So what happens? Well, this is what ends up happening. Your cost per acquisition ends up becoming $50, and your average cart value stays the same at $17. Now we're losing money every single time we do paid advertising. We're losing money. Now, in the past, what you do is you look at it and say, well, I spent $1,000 on my marketing for the month. I only got $170 back. This didn't work, and we throw the whole thing out and we try to start all over. You no longer have to do that. All you have to do is go back to this page and say, okay, what's wrong with this page? Maybe we need to change the offer. Maybe we need to change the verbiage. Maybe we need to change who we're targeting. And the goal is to get this back up to 30%. Then we get ourselves back into our break-even point. And then what also can happen, which is great, is maybe this goes really well and you get a 50% conversion rate instead of 30, and then suddenly your cost per acquisition is $17 and your average cart value is $30 or something like that. Now you're putting $1 in and you're getting $2 out in a customer. That is the best case scenario. But ultimately, you don't have to throw out your whole thing. All you have to do is look and see what isn't working. Let's make some changes. Let's run a test. A lot of times what I do is I run the 100-click test. And after I get 100 people to our Godfather offer, I see how well that converts. And it doesn't take very long to do that, so we're not wasting money. It doesn't take 3 to 6 months to figure out that it doesn't work or that it does work. We'll know pretty quickly, and we can start making changes. And the same thing's true of each of these pages. This one gets a 30% conversion rate, but this one gets a 2% conversion rate. We need to fix this page, and so on and so forth. So that's what we're doing whenever I create it. And if you do this, when you put this on the conveyor belt, you are generating unlimited marketing dollars. So if you put $1,000 in, you're getting $1,000 out and 60 customers or however many that is. You put $5,000 in, you get $5,000 out. You can grow your business that way, and you can outmarket your competition. Here's one that I'm working with a local business here. We haven't started running this yet. This is what I'm working on. Still has to go through some red tape to get started, but this is just to give you an idea of what we're doing. So Capital City Health Club, we're offering an unlimited buddy pass for free. And people sign up and they get them and their friend, they get 2 people for the price of 1, which is great. They come in and they get a week or 2 weeks free access and come and work out together at the club and get to know it. So we get a percentage who take our Godfather offer here and say, yep, I want that. Once they click on that, then I'd give them a special one-time offer. This one I'd say, here, we're going to give you a 30-day fitness jumpstart challenge. Okay, and here you're going to get 30-day pass for you and a workout buddy, 4 training sessions, a personal fitness program, access to Group X classes, fitness assessment, and access to all amenities offered. And so we have a total value that I say to them, this is $950. We're going to offer it to you for $99. And so the idea is we get enough people that take you up on this that offsets their marketing cost. And now they've gained a customer for free because they paid for themselves on this. And once they sign them up, we take them in, they go through the sign up thing, they put in their information, and bam, we got ourselves a customer who paid for their own marketing. Now they can make other offers, which we're going to jump into next. But now they can send them up the tower and they can make them more offers until they get them as a member of their club. So, so that is how the front end offer works and how funnel marketing works. And it works really well because we don't confuse them because we send them through a very specific system where we're offering them one thing. We're not offering them 1,000 things. We're keeping them on track with one thing, something they're interested in, and then they sign up for it. So let's go back. Let's finish this up. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Let's look at the third thing, how to make customers worth substantially more to your business. So this is the last thing. It all builds on top of each other. I hope you can see this. This is an exciting part. We have to understand that we don't live in an LA or a New York. We don't have millions of people that we can market to, right? We live in small towns. We've got 30,000, 50,000, or 60,000 people at the most. Bozeman is growing a little bit bigger. For all your Bozeman businesses, I don't know where you're at now. You're starting to become pretty big. But we still have a limited amount of people. And so we have to be smarter about how we market. And we do that by making our customers worth more to our business than we did before. And that is what this Tower Marketing does for us. So let's put it all together. All right. So what I do is we just continue to create more offers. All right. So I'm going to create other offers, a continuity offer, and a high ticket offer. Other offers is just anything else that you can think of as a business. Some businesses may not have a lot of other offers. Other businesses have tons. It takes a little bit of thinking, a little bit of creativity, but we all have to do is give other offers to our customers. Then a continuity offer. Not every business can do this. More businesses can do it than not, but not every business. A continuity offer is just a monthly, almost like a monthly membership where they're paying every single month. The health club, it's built in, right? Their offer is a continuity offer, so someone joins a health club and pays them every single month. The last one is a high ticket offer. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it has to be something that's really, really expensive. The high ticket offer can just simply be whatever you make the most profit on or your best ticket item, product or service that you have. What you want people to do can be your high ticket. And it doesn't even have to be something expensive. It could be something cheap, but something that you want to sell a lot of, like a flashlight. I don't know what it is, but that's something that you want to get tons of people to buy. That could be your high ticket offer. It's just whatever's going to make you the most money, whatever's most valuable to you that you are offering your customers. So these are the 3 offers I want to do. So when I got down on my table and I started writing this out, this is kind of what I drew out, right? So what we want to do is we start with our lobby offer, right? And we get people in, and that's what I say, the break even point. We get as many people to buy as we can, and we fill that lobby up. Then we make other offers if we can, and we start to stack this. And we make another offer to them. Now, we only have to offer everybody that's in our lobby. We don't have to pay to market to anybody else again. That's why it's important. The only paying marketing that we have to do is to get people to the lobby. And if that's working well, you just let that automate and you let that run and you continue to fill this up. Then once you break even, you make your other offers and you just offer to those in your lobby. And those who buy, not all of them are going to buy it, but more are going to buy than normal because they already know, like, and trust you. You've already sold them something. You've already introduced them to yourself. So that you're going to have a higher percentage because they know you. And so you're going to create other offers. And then same thing on this floor. You're going to make more offers. You're going to offer everybody in your lobby, everybody in your tower that you can offer. And a percentage of them are going to take you up on it. That becomes pure profit from a marketing standpoint because you didn't have to pay to market to them. They already paid for themselves. So now you create pure profit on everybody you sell to. And you continue to talk to them and you continue to sell. And then you can create your high ticket offer or your continuity offer or both. The best businesses run both. You have a monthly payment plus you have your high ticket sales. This I call the 80-20 rule because generally this is about 20% of everybody that you have in your lobby. Usually about 20% ends up buying your high ticket or your continuity, but that's gonna generate 80% of your sales. I just say that in a general rule. Sometimes it's 90-10, sometimes it's 95-5, but this is a key. This is where we want to lead people. And generally the value of each one goes up. It doesn't always have to be, but generally that's what we look at is the value of each one. Let me give you a couple quick examples. All right. One of them is, this is for a chiropractor who offers a free massage. And then from the massage, he introduced him to what he has and he says, hey, you can get adjustments. And then his continuity offer actually is continued adjustments. And then his suite offer, he has a wellness program that he designs that he sells to people. And so that's what his main goal, that's his high ticket. What I also call it the suite offer because it's the top of the tower. This is your suite. So this is what you want to give them. I'm going to skip through a couple of these due to time. Here's one for a cooking company that sells cooking products, a free cookbook that they get. Then they try to get them into a new monthly recipe program where they're buying the ingredients and then they create a monthly program where every month they automatically get sent the recipe with all the ingredients. Here's one for a dentist, a free cleaning. You get a whitening, you get cosmetics, and then their continuity offer and their suite offer is a 6-month checkup every single month. So by the end of this now, after I've gone through all this, you might feel like this. Just a ton of information, feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I told you it would be a lot of stuff that we have to learn. But this is what I wanted to share with you. So now what I want to do is just take a minute here, and I want to give you guys an offer. I want to make an offer to you guys who've been on this, okay? And this is for anybody who's on this webinar. I don't offer this to everyone. Only those who are on this webinar or maybe watching this recording of this webinar, I want to make you this offer. All right, so what I want to do is I want to teach you guys this. I want to teach you how to do this, and I want to, because I really believe it's going to help grow your business. In fact, I know it's going to help grow your business. And so the first thing I want to offer you is 4 one-on-one strategy sessions. Why 4? Because I learned it takes about 4 where we can identify your dream customer. That's going to be your ideal customer, and it's not just age and it's not just age and where they live, or male, age 35 to 82, right? It's not just that. It's much deeper than that. So I help you. If you don't know already, I really help you identify your dream customer. Then I'm going to help develop your own business tower. I'm going to help develop that front end sale, that lobby offer. I'm going to help develop any other offers. And there's sometimes I work with businesses who say, hey, I don't have anything else to offer. But once we start brainstorming and start thinking about it, we come up with way more offers than they ever thought possible. And I've even had a lot of companies say, I don't have any continuity plan. A hot tub company that I work with that sold hot tubs and spas, he said, I don't have any continuity offer. And then we started talking about his service, because he does service on hot tubs. And I said, what if you did service on anybody's hot tub and they paid you monthly to go out there and service them? And he said, that's a great idea. So we created a continuity offer out of nothing. We just made it up, and it worked really well. Otherwise, then I'm going to create your hook and your story and all of your offers, so that we know, once we understand your dream customer, we know what we're offering. Then we can create a hook to get people in, to drive people in to that offer, and start filling your lobby and start filling your tower. Then what I'm going to do is what I use, and stuff that I showed you earlier, is ClickFunnels. This is what I use to create those landing pages, to create those funnels for you. I use ClickFunnels. Now, there are other options that you can use. There's Infusionsoft, there's Lead Pages, and there's a few others. I found ClickFunnels to be the absolute best, and so I want to be able to give that to you, at least so you can try it, see how easy it is, so that you guys can start creating your own funnels down the road. Once you understand how this works, you start creating your own quick funnels. It doesn't take you that long to build them out. A lot of times, you can start creating sales more and more and more, and building your business and automating your business and automating your sales through this whole system. The other thing I want to give you is an autoresponder. This is where, if you're not familiar with an autoresponder, this is where all of your leads, well, ClickFunnels as well, but this is where all your leads are going to go into. And then you have an email system. We didn't talk about this because I didn't want to get too far into the weeds, but you need, once you collect their email and their phone number and their information, you need to keep talking to them. You need to keep following up with them, right? Because the follow-up is almost the most important part. A lot of times they don't buy from you right away. So the fortune is in the follow-up. So you use autoresponder systems to do that. And I have one that I use for Messenger. I have one that you can use for email. I even have one that you can call people and leave messages for them. That's it. The phone doesn't even ring. It goes straight to their message, and you can leave messages if you want on their cell phones to remind them of their deal or something that they did. So autoresponder system is extremely important to have. I'm going to give you this autoresponder system. The next thing is I'm going to create and design. Oh, sorry, my thing got messed up there. I guess my ClickFunnels there got messed up. Sorry about that. But I'm going to create and design your first front end funnel for you. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to do it. I'll create it and build it so you can see how it works. We can create something that's going to start filling up your lobby right away. I don't want to waste time. Within those 4 strategy sessions, I want to have something built and ready for you so you can start filling that lobby right away. And the last thing is I'm going to write your first email sequence or your first sequence, whether it's email or messenger, whatever that is. I'm going to write that out for you so you can understand how that works. How do you follow up with people once they get it, and how does that automation work? So you don't have to sit there every single day and email everyone over and over again. You can set up an automation system and have it done all for you as they start going through your funnels and start filling up your tower. So the average value of this, what I usually get is $1,500 and $1,535 to be able to run this, right? Now, of course, I am not going to charge you $1,535 to do this. But even if I did charge you $1,535 one-time fee to do this, and all this did was give you a lobby full of points of contact that you can talk to and you can sell to over and over and over again, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it that one time? Of course, I said I'm not going to charge you this much. What I want to do for you guys is I'm going to do it for free. I'm going to do this for free for you guys because I want to teach you. I want to teach as many of these businesses in Helena. I love Helena. I love Montana, Bozeman, Great Falls, Butte, everybody out there who's in those other cities that are listening and watching this. I want to be able to help you. So I'm going to offer you all of this for free to get you started, to get you going, and to teach you how to do this. Okay? So before we do that, if you are interested, if this is something that you want to do, the first thing, this is how you get started. It's super simple. How you get started. What I do is we schedule a 30-minute evaluation call. All right? I started to do this recently because I've learned a couple things as I began to work with people. So I do this for two reasons. The first reason is so that you can ask any questions that you have before you make any commitments. All right? Because I have a lot of people who say, well, I see how this works, but I don't know if this will work for my business. You can ask me that question. This will work for any business, but sometimes it's just unclear, or maybe there's concepts that you don't fully understand. I want to give you the opportunity to ask any questions about it, so that you can better understand what this is. The second thing is I want to make sure that this program is right for you. Now, as I said, this program will work for any business out there. I have no doubt in my mind, but not every single business is ready for this program. They're not in a spot. This does take a commitment. Like I said, we do 4 one-on-one sessions, and I need a commitment from the business to go through it. Because if you only do one of those sessions and then you get too busy and you can't do another one for 3 or 4 months, it's not going to do us any good. We're never going to get anywhere. So I want to make sure that the program is right for you and that you're ready to start this program. And those who are ready, then we go through and I'm going to teach you everything. I'm spending my time to do this and to teach you guys this. So I want to make sure that you are available and that you can do it as well. Otherwise, it just won't be effective, and I'll be wasting your time. You'll be wasting my time. So the first thing we do is schedule a 30-minute evaluation call. Usually, it only going to take 15 minutes. Usually, it doesn't take quite that long, but I like to give us enough time to do that. So in order to do it, all you need to do is below here, you should see a button that says Schedule Call. Click on that button, and whatever time works best for you, schedule the call for you, and then I will give you a call during that time, and we'll go through this. And that's all you have to do. That's the first step to start changing your business, start growing your business. You just take this one step, and from there, we'll schedule the strategy sessions, and we'll build your market. So thank you guys so much today. I appreciate you listening to everything. I just want to thank you. I'm really excited to be able to share more of this with you. I hope to talk to many, if not all of you, very, very soon. Hey, have a good rest of your day.